I notice you have a tendency of being very careful about language, and appreciating the power of an I am statement. And I wonder if you'd speak to that.
Language is creative. The Hebrew word abracadabra, and I love that word. I love that word because it's been used for so many years, as a magician, using that word to create magic.
Mm-hmm.
That it's forgotten that it's a Hebrew word, meaning that I create as I speak. That our language is creative and we need to be careful. We need to take care with our words. Words are creative and they're amplified by the feeling behind the words. And the feeling behind the word is amplified by the intensity of that feeling behind the words. So we can speak very hateful words with an incredible anger and an incredible intensity, and those words are very creative.
Mm-hmm.
They manifest as harm.
Powerful.
Uh-huh. And we can do the same if we take care with our words. And you are speaking specifically to I am statements. I am is claiming an identity.
Mm-hmm.
It's claiming an identity. And so we claim, because that phrase is so used, I am this, I am that, I'm angry, I'm happy, I'm a mother, I'm a teacher. I'm slapping all kinds of identities on myself that ultimately aren't helpful, even the positive ones, because they hide me from my true identity, which is beyond egoic labels, which is beyond thought form, which is beyond belief. But the more I use I am to describe myself, the more hidden my fuller identity becomes.
It's almost like taking something that's really big and putting it out into something that is much smaller, too small.
You mean our fuller identity,
Mm-hmm.
and then hanging labels, all these little
taking
labels.
that I am, and rather than having that be the umbrella, putting it into a particular, as if that's the identity.
Right. Well, Gabriel talks about it as all of our identities are fig leaves.
Mm.
And we just hang one identity on our true self that's hidden under there. And we just a lifetime of identities that, of course, at first, we aren't making our own identities. They're told to us.
Right.
We were born, we get a pink cap or a blue cap to wear, and all of the rules and expectations that a pink hat or a blue hat imply. I mean, it starts immediately.
Right.
This layering of identity that is hiding a greater truth of who we are. And so we become very attached to those identities, and they're so ubiquitous. There's so many of them, and they're so ubiquitous that we can't actually see how it controls us.
Mm-hmm.
In part of a practice of coming to appreciate that we're something more, or something really quite different than all of the labels we've attached to ourselves, or that have been attached to us over the course of our lifetime, is to be very careful with I am statements.
Right.
I am happy versus I'm aware that my body feels happy. I'm aware of this feeling surging through me. I am angry versus I feel this rising. I'm aware that there are these sensations that I call anger.
Mm-hmm.
They're very different statements.
Yes.
And one has possibility, because if I feel the feelings that I name as anger, I have freedom to choose what I'm going to do with that.
Uh-huh.
If I create the rigidity of the identity that I am angry, I'm angry when I see this happening in the world or that happening in the world, or when you say these words to me, I become so locked in that. It's very hard to let go of. So we become bound. We're so bound by our identities. Even our positive ones, even mother or teacher. This culture has a great rigidity around motherhood. You can see arguments rage on Facebook about who's a good mother, and if you do this or that or the other thing, that our mother is mothering and judging other people's mothering, and because of this odd presence yet anonymity of social media, there's very harsh things that are said. about something that is wonderful and beautiful, and most of us are doing the best we can at being a mother. Or again, whatever the label might be. So we have the role of mothering, and we can each choose how we want to bring that forward in the best way we can. Yet we are not that. And that's hard. So it's easier to see, okay, I'm not anger, and identifying as anger does not suit me. It's harder to see all the other roles that also create limitations for us. And again, they're not, it's limitations in the sense that it hides us from the fullness of our human potential. It limits us from the fullness of our human potential. And therefore, it limits us from knowing our birthright of non-causal meaning not impacted. It's my birthright to feel peace. It's my birthright to feel joy. It's my birthright to feel contentment. It's my birthright to feel compassion, to feel bliss. Yet when I limit myself with all of these identities, if I allow culture to limit me with all these identities, I suffer it. I suffer it.